the Skull Crawlers, and we ask you to suspend disbelief. The show where we invite you to open your mind and expand your horizons as we discuss the paranormal, taboo, and otherwise mysterious occurrences in our universe. And Cary, what do we got today?
We have a couple very special guests. We have our friend Jay and Judith. Judy or Judith?
Either one.
Either one?
Yeah.
And they've been fans of the podcast for a while. And
First real fan.
First real fans we've been out in a while. It was crazy. And they just started. Jay for sure is our number one hype man. And I was like, dude, I know you got some stories, and you come on and tell them. So
definitely,
we're out here. But before we dive into all of that, Oren and I are just going to catch up for a little bit. It's been a while since you guys seen Oren.
Yeah, I've been taking a not intended break from the pod. Just got busy with life and work, and never really had time to come out here and do this. But I'm back. The plan is we're gonna get me back on the pod, keep doing this in person, because I mean the Zooms are cool, but it's better in person.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm glad to be back. Missed everybody and ready to get back in spooky mode.
Oh yeah, we're doing it. Okay, so like I said, it's been a while since Oren has been on the show, so it's just like, man, thank goodness. I've been telling everybody, like, I love doing podcasts with Doc and Kay or whoever is the guest at the time, if it's just me, and I'll keep it going forever even if it's just me. But when Oren is here, when he's on set, there's a chemistry that him and I have that's just like nothing else, man.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed being on the show. I missed doing Skull Crawler stuff. So I'm happy to be back.
Heck yeah. Couple updates about Skull Crawlers is, of course, we're getting the pod up and going. We're able to be releasing podcasts throughout the summer. It's one of my favorite times of the year to tell stories, and there's something about, I don't know, going camping, sitting around the campfire, that just makes me want to tell some stories. So for sure, you guys been getting plenty of episodes. I can't promise they'll be out every week or every other week, but we'll do it when we can, and we'll have a good time. But our most recent horror short film made it into Circle Cinema Festival in Tulsa. So July 15th through the 19th, Circle Cinema Fest is happening up in Tulsa, and we are part of the horror short film showcase. And so Crooked Face will be there, Warren and I will be there, Doc and Kate will be there, and whoever wants to come, you guys should all come support, see some spooky movies, all that stuff.
Yes, please.
Rub some elbows with some big time filmmakers, stuff like that. So but other than that, not much going on with Skull Crawlers. Warren and I met a couple times, start writing a horror short film, and then something turned into an idea for a feature. And who knows what's going to happen with all that. Of course, we've been doing this thing for almost 5 years now, and our dream was always make movies. And the podcast is great and all, but our ultimate goal is making movies, telling our stories on the screen. And as time has gone on, it really has, at least for me, turned into wanting to tell my culture stories. And so this feature film idea that we have is kind of like an alien abduction type story, tying into erasure of our culture and all that stuff. And we a really solid concept for an idea that's going to kind of mix found footage with your standard narrative filmmaking. And who knows, we might turn that into something. Other than that, I don't know. We'll see. Crooked Face is head to Circle Cinema Fest. I'm excited about that. We submitted to a couple other festivals. And so we'll see what happens there. I think Crooked Face is a fantastic short film. You guys should check it out. But also, it was something that we honestly didn't try incredibly hard at. It was something I kind of threw together, and it had a couple days to shoot last summer. Came up with a good concept, found Kate as an actress, and location, all that stuff, and it turned into something really cool. But now I kind of want to actually try to do something really hard and really challenging and see what we can do there. So other than that, I understand what you're going through, Oren. Life's crazy, man.
I mean, yours is crazier than mine. 2 kids.
Yeah. We just bought a house back in March, and this past week I've been building a fence. In the past couple months, I was working on my car or moving or house projects, and of course, being a boss at work, managing people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is crazy, but we still find time to be creative. If I don't, I feel like I'm going to lose my mind. So,
Yeah. You're stuck in work mode.
for real.
Don't want to do anything else.
Yeah. So, anyway, welcome back, guys. Welcome back, Oren. And yeah, like I said, nothing too crazy is going on with us, but stay tuned for some really cool stuff. Stay tuned for more podcasts. Last episode we had Shanna Lee on, and she was amazing. You got to check her channel out. She does streaming on Twitch and on YouTube at Shanna Lee, ShannaLeigh, and she does horror video game streams. She's also Choctaw and Cherokee, and is a MIW advocate. She's a Pride ally as well. So this is her kind of time of the year for Pride Month. And so she's out there doing really cool stuff, and she's a Blumhouse creator partner. And so she streams games in connection with Blumhouse somehow. I'm not exactly sure how. She explained it to me, but I forgot. But she's great, man. So check out her out. And then we had my Uncle Mark on for a couple episodes back to back, and he was great, man. Those are the stories that I grew up hearing. Of course, he told some new ones, but like, stories from my dad, my uncles, that really got me into scary stories. So check those out as well. And yeah, so Warren, you got anything else?
No, just stay tuned what we're doing. We're keep up the podcast. If you have stories, please send them in. I would love to do just a whole episode of just listener stories, and we can, or if you're looking for, I don't know, just an outlet for your creative writing, send it to the pod and we'll read it on the pod and spook everybody else up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're super stoked about this film project. We've been talking about it off and on and trying to get the ball rolling on it, whether it be, a short, a feature, and then just working on other stuff. Like, anyway, this is the time for us to get back to the routine of things and start putting stuff out beside the pod, because I miss filmmaking. I know Cary does, and I would love to just put stuff out that's our voice and that's our thing. So, just stay tuned.
Heck yeah. And so I would like to introduce my guest. Jay, go ahead and start it off, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you found Suspend Disbelief.
Okay. Well, first, before I start all that, thank you so much for having me and my wife on. I mean, we are #1 fans of you guys since the beginning. We'll travel for you guys. We've been to Punk City for you guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And, but I know this is y'all's thing, but I am going to take credit for Oren's Ali-like return to the ring.
Yeah, Jason's manifesting it for a while.
Yeah, I was like, Oren is there. I found you guys on YouTube. I was looking at work. I told y'all at work I listened to a lot of podcasts and I was trying to find Indigenous horror stuff, and you guys popped up, and I started watching you guys. And then met Cary at Rose State in one of the spooky stories, and Christopher Honka Hill was there. He was like the Ric Flair. Everybody was over there seeing him. I was like, I'm gonna talk to this guy right here. Yeah, I know him. I saw him. So I went up to you, and I told you, I really enjoy your work and keep going, and man, keep putting stuff out, and just hit it off with Cary that way, and then met Oren, and just. Now we're here. So,
yeah, it was really cool. Like I said, first fan of the channel ever met in the wild that I didn't already know personally or meet through filmmaking or anything like that. And it was just one of those that like he found our stuff on the internet. I was like, wow, that actually happens.
Yeah, it was surreal at Nitty Gritty when you introduced us. Like,
I know.
You're like, these guys are like our legit fans. People watched it outside of everybody else we know.
I made my mom watch them. She came up and visited the grandbabies one time, and I put it up on the big screen. I was watching them. And told Judith about you guys, and just since then, just followed you guys and got your book where you got your story published. In fact, you had sent it to me. Let me proofread it, whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I was all excited, telling everybody. And then we absolutely love Crooked Face.
Yes.
Love Kate.
Yes.
Amazing job. Great. But Birthday Bash, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You
Yeah. I mean, you don't talk about Birthday Bash.
I know.
man.
I know.
Yeah. Y'all don't talk about that enough.
All right. Well, so Birthday Bash is the film that we did almost 3-4 years ago at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It was kind of a disaster going into it. So the idea behind it was our friend Mac. He had this creepy birthday cake mat
Yeah.
that he was showing around, and was like, "Man, that's sick." And how my mind works is, I like to write my stories, write my scripts around things that I already have around. So it's just a lot easier for me to film something if I already have access to the location or to the creature or whatever. And so I saw this and I was like, "Oh, that's sick. We got to do something with that." And automatically I was like, birthday cake monster chasing kids through the woods.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Warren had the idea, or somebody had the idea of like bashing his head in, and then his brains being cake.
Yeah.
And then Warren said, "It's got to be called Birthday Bash." I was like, "That's perfect."
Yes.
I think it was that, and like around that same time, I think Black Phone had come out, and
Yeah.
Dylan, who
Mhm.
plays Mr. Sprinkles, like he was like influenced by Art the Clown, Terrifiers. It was like kind of all
Yeah.
those confluence of things.
Yeah.
And it's like we got to do something with, like kids or kid actors, like something.
Yeah.
because it was like It too was like a big influence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was good.
We got to do something period piece, you
Yeah.
know? So we chose ambiguous 80s, 70s, 80s. And yeah, that was kind of the idea behind all of that. And then we went into filming. Of course, you know, the woods are free to shoot in. So everyone's got the woods around somewhere. So we shot a couple places in the woods. And for some reason, we're like, hey, it's wintertime. Let's shoot. And so we're out there. It's freezing, man. These 11, 12-year-old girls, man, they're toughing it out, being champs, though. And then, of course, got to shout out Dylan Cole Black for being our Mr. Sprinkles. He was the best. He brought the character to life. There wouldn't have been a Mr. Sprinkles without him, for sure. I think I just gave him a general idea of like, hey, this is kind of what I want. You know, these are my inspirations. You know, you got your Pennywise, and I think I gave him like Pumpkinhead, and then he came out and had this whole grand character
Wow.
that just turned into Mr. Sprinkles. And I was like, God, this guy is gold. We should just let the cameras roll. And like a lot of the stuff that we shot was just him just being Mr. Sprinkles. He's just a big weirdo. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of our nod to 70s, 80s horror, slasher kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a fun little story. It's you know, it's told really well. It wraps up really nice at the end. There's a lot of callbacks and setups and stuff like that that pay off really well. And it was just a lot of fun. So we did our coming of age story. Would you ever want to shoot something with kids again?
Yeah. I mean, it was challenging. Yeah. I mean, but the energy was at least fun. Like it was like just hanging out. But
Yeah.
the challenge was directing them, of course. Like you have to run through like lines like 20 different times or yeah. But yeah, I mean the challenge was there, of course, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all don't give birthday bash enough. Y'all need to
Enough love.
birthday bash. So
Fun thing about that one was like when we were writing it, like Dylan had some input too, but like we were trying to do like a lot of like different lore stuff around that
Mhm.
character and
yeah,
why he does what he does. So I think we threw around the idea of course doing another one and then like doing a comic book or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Yeah, Dylan had the idea for Birthday Bash Sweet 16, and the girls are actually like turning 16 now. So I'm like, well, the clock's ticking. If we're going to do this, we got to do it soon. So who knows, man? If Dylan wants to come back as Mr. Sprinkles, and the girls want to come back and do something, man, it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so you guys may see that someday. That could be a lot of fun. Yeah, we appreciate that you like that movie, man. It, of course, it didn't do well at any film festivals or anything like that. It didn't get selected a whole lot, but it was something that we worked really hard on, and it turned out great, albeit a lot of things that went wrong, but it was still so much fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love even though it wasn't that great or well received, like still has our stylistic approach to it. Like we really clamped down hard on we wanted to be like the 80s feel, like
it
with
was.
music and everything.
It really was. We're young elders. You know, we're 80s.
Yeah.
We're 80s, and it really it put us back in that mode of watching the 80s, and
Yeah.
because I told y'all before that's where I'm at. Getting back a little bit, I'm Muskogee Creek. Grew up in Eufaula, born at Lawton Indian Hospital, and just turned 50 last week. And I've been watching movies for 50 years. And you guys really hit it. And it really, especially Crooked Face, man, that really, everything I've seen, it's up there. It's up there with the classics.
Sweet,
And
man.
It did.
Appreciate
After
it.
we watched it, we were asking questions like, I wonder if there was like an origin story, or where did he come from? You know, what made him the way it made him. So
yeah, so
it was good. It spawned a lot of thought to it. So I liked it too.
and that was her screaming at birthday bash in that really nice theater, the Ponca.
Oh yeah,
That's
on the big screen.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then we came downtown, saw you screamed Gremlins.
Yeah,
So-
that's
so
right.
We were
yeah.
we were there for that. So, but
yeah.
I mean, well, introduce yourself.
Oh, I introduced my name is Judith. No, I'm just kidding. No, my name is Judith. I'm actually, my family's from Carnegie, Anadarko, Apache, Lawton, Indiana, Cache, all those places. So I grew up over there and got family over there, cousins over there. And as you guys know, when you have cousins, you don't just have one, you got many. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you and I are kin. And
yeah,
we have the
definitely
same
so.
ancestor.
I'm sure we're neighbors.
Hunting horse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunting horse, the toque, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my dad's side, the Kiowa side, and then my mom's the Comanche side. So talking about Indiana and Cache, Lawton, that's more her family on that side. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Straight to Quantum Parker.
yep, descendant from there. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's cool.
can take it all back. Yeah,
That is cool.
Yeah.
Two powerful bloodlines. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah. So
Well, right on. So where did you guys grow up?
I grew up in Norman, so I wasn't born there. I was born in Lawton, but my parents moved there because my dad went to OU. Mom and dad met in Lawton, Anadarko.
Yep.
Moved to Norman. I grew up Norman in the 80s, 90s. Graduated high school in 2000. So
Wow.
spent all that time there before all the national championships. We went through that. And then moved out. Met this guy, moved out, and went to see the world after that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
We've been, I think this year is our 24th anniversary married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been,
Congratulations.
thank you. We've known each other. Dang.
Oh, man. I think I met him when I was like 10.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew each other. I knew his family before I knew him.
Yeah.
So grew up together, hung out together.
I was born in Lawton at the Indian Hospital. My dad was the baseball coach at Anadarko.
Yeah.
And then moved to Eufaula. So I grew up on the other side of the state.
Yeah.
So I'm Creek from down that way.
Okay.
And family came over on Charioteers and traced all the way back to Georgia. So
Wow.
it's been in it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess we're probably 15 minutes into this, and we're here to hear some scary stories. So what can you guys tell us?
Oh my gosh.
Ladies first.
I guess I don't know. I don't know if it's been something that's followed us or just been something that has been a part of our family that we've kind of carried down through the years, but there's always been something that's happened everywhere that we've lived in Norman. And I guess back in late 90s, 2000s, we had this house that my dad found. We bought it, and it was a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it wasn't lived in for a long time. And my dad being my dad, he's a handyman, so he would renovate, he would fix it up, he would, restore everything. And that's what he did. He kind of bought fixer-uppers, and then by the end of it, it'd be like a whole different house. So this house that we found, we grew up in it. We moved in for a while. After a while, we would see things, around the corner. We'd stop and look and think we see something peeping around the corner or something. But there's actually a couple times you would hear drawers open and close, or you would hear footsteps going up and down the stairs, things like that.
It was a dark house.
It was a very dark house.
It was dark.
Because, some places you can go into somebody's home and just feel quite cozy or comfortable in. This one, it was just kind of like, this is odd. You're not really like, you're home, but you're not home. It's not your home. So it kind of felt like that. And there was a couple of times where I actually saw a shadow person walking through.
Ooh.
And it was really late at night. And it was one of those houses where you just, you go to one room, flip the light on, go to the next room, flip the light on, but you never like walk through that house in the dark because it was just, you just didn't feel comfortable in it. So, but was doing some homework late one night because, I pushed it to the brink of the end of the timeline. So I was sitting there doing some homework on the computer and, stretching, looking around, leaned back, and in the glass of the oven, that sits kind of high in the glass of the oven, you could see somebody walking towards the kitchen area. And the only thing that separated the office from the dining room was the kitchen. So if I, revert the image, you see somebody's coming towards you, and I was just like, oh man, this isn't good, So, but just things like that. You would see things out of the corner of your eye. You would hear things late at night, or, if you were by yourself, you would hear somebody calling for your name, and
That's why, yeah. I was at the same house. She has two younger sisters, and they were at school. And I got there and I came in. It was after work, and because I was always over there, her house. And I walked in. And as soon as you walked in the front door, the stairs were right there going up. And her younger sister Mallory, I walked in and I heard Jay. I was walking to the kitchen and I stopped and I was like, "What?" And I came back to the stairs and I was looking up and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Mallory, what? What do you want?" And she came walking in the front door behind me.
Ooh.
She just got there home from school. And I was like, all right. So
Yeah. We opened the door. If you think from our perspective, me and Mallory walked in, we opened the door and he was standing there looking up the stairs. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Y'all just now getting here?" And I was like, "Yeah." So
it was a weird house.
it was very weird. I don't know if it was because it was a fixer-upper and nobody was there for so long, and then all of a sudden we were there, or God knows who does what in an empty house anyway. So
What was the area like? Was it like around anything?
no, that's what's crazy, is that it was just a neighborhood like this neighborhood, or it was
Now they hadn't built the new Norman North. That wasn't there yet.
no,
But
it
it's
wasn't.
over there. That's where they built Norman North at. It's over in that area.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is like the past couple of months we had some weird stuff happen in our apartment, and I was trying to figure out what it is, what's going on.
Yeah.
But we, like my wife Morgan, she's seeing like faces like in the windows. Like we live on the second story, so like, there's like nobody to look in.
Yeah.
She's seen like faces in the windows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything. I like felt stuff. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out what it is. And we do live next, and like the apartment we live at, it used to be a assisted living. So like older people used to live there.
Oh man.
So we think, hey, it's probably like somebody who passed there.
Yeah.
I also live next to a hospital.
Yeah.
So it's like,
There you go.
passed there or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I haven't seen anything. I just remember one day I was home alone. She was at work or school or whatever. And I thought I heard her like walking in the hallway. And I bet it was like right here. I thought I heard her walking. I was like, look, it's like,
Close the laptop real fast.
I promise I was on eBay, I swear. But yeah, I picked up. Nobody was there. And I was like, man, that's crazy. I just went back to do one thing. Because like, I don't know if Cary, we talked about on the pod, or I've talked about it with her, like when we tried doing like paranormal stuff, like for whatever reason, like I'm just like, it just shuts down with me.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anything.
Yeah.
I've experienced it, but like in my mind, like there's an explanation for it, but I do want to see something. Like I want to see ghosts. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just so I can know how I have that experience.
Yeah.
But like whenever we've done anything paranormal, like and nothing happens. Like we messed with
Dowsing rods. I found those recently. We were moving, and Sarah's like, "Hey, I have these." Like, yo, I forgot we hadn't even had those. Well, yeah, straight up, man. We were messing with dowsing rods one time. We're asking them questions, and every single time for me, I'd hold them. They swing back and forth, and then, you like cross for yes or stay here for no. And every single time, man, it was responding to me, and I was like, yo. And then every time I wanted to do it, literally nothing would happen.
like that straight. Like what are you
Wow.
about?
Wow.
That's what we were doing. We were talking about it before we came out here. We were trying to come up with our stories and stuff, and every time we've done looking, because we did something at Fort Reno.
Yeah.
There's an old theater in Hera that we went to on a ghost hunt there, and we were moving chairs out of that funeral home.
Yes.
We were. That's where you're supposed to see, hear stuff,
Yeah.
and nothing. We went to Montana, and man, we were out in the middle of nowhere. She was driving, didn't know where we were. It was late, and man, I was looking. I want to see a UFO out here. There's nothing out here. We went looking for Bigfoot, and I mean, saw a little stuff on the Bigfoot stuff, but man, everything else. It's just always when we're Norman, we were driving. She was driving, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and this car came up beside us, and I just kind of looked over at it, and it was the scariest face I've ever seen in my life. It was pure black. It was pure dark. It looked mad. It looked evil. It looked angry, and it was so. It didn't scare me. I was just like
trying to assess what it was.
yeah. I looked at it, and it never looked at me. It just kept going, and we got to our turn, and she turned, and it took about 15 minutes for me to say, "Hey, I just saw." This whatever driving next to us, and it was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, every time we're not looking for something, something happens.
Yeah. It always seems to be like when your guard is down, when you're not looking, it's always something that just kind of pops up, goes by, or you hear something. And
we've been together so long. All our stories are pretty much the same, and everything. Same thing in Virginia.
Yes.
We're driving down the highway in Virginia, out in Norfolk. That's how they say it.
What'd you call me?
It's Norfolk, but they say Norfolk. And it was a car in front of us. And
just
something turned around and looked at us.
Yeah.
And we were just
crazy.
like, and you didn't we're not. Wow. We were just. It took about 10 minutes, and she was like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Did you see that too?"
Yeah.
It was a face. It just
it was the driver, and you know how you see like back, it was a kind of an old boxy car like back in the day, and they were just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, just quick as day, just turns around, looks at us, and then I was sitting there, and I was like, "Did I just see what I think I saw?" And I turn and look at Jay, because you learn how to keep your cool sometimes, because you
don't want to freak out the other
person. I don't want to. Plus, we had we had a little kid at that point. Our kids were toddlers, so I was like, "Did you just see what I saw?" Because you got to confirm this and make sure I'm not going crazy, But just things like that, and it just happens so fast that you don't have time to whip out your phone, or back then you didn't have a phone, but.
Yeah, it was a very quick, just like that. And then, but yeah, every time we're looking for something, nothing ever.
Yeah.
We were in Salt Lake City once.
Yeah.
And Salt Lake, we love Salt Lake City. We'd go move there right now if we could, but it was a very scary place.
It was very heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy out there. And Skinwalker Ranch is not that far from there. And then there's a haunted house.
Yeah.
They did satanic stuff there. They found out, and I think Ghost Adventures was there.
Yeah.
We went by there, and it was just very heavy out there. And I don't know why Utah seems like that.
Yeah.
But I would totally go to Skinwalker Ranch if I could. I would be out there. So. But I got a little people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's not dark yet.
Yeah,
it's not dark yet. But little people for me is a little different because of where I grew up. I grew up in Eufaula, West Eufaula Baptist Church. All the Indian churches face east. I don't know if y'all know that. And every family has a cabin around the church. So it was the Lewis. I come from the Lewises. We had the Harjos, Narcomes, everybody out there. And I call him Uncle Buddy. It was Uncle Buddy, Uncle Washi, and then my grandpa. But they were my grandpa's brothers. My grandpa was born in 1907, year Oklahoma became a state. And then Buddy and Washi were older than him. And I remember them well. I remember them. They'd come out and eat dinner, but he'd come out and sit and just old man. So I mean, he was born before Oklahoma was a state, and here I am. I just turned 50, and I'm sitting here eating lunch with him. So it's a long time ago, but it's not a long time ago. And he was the medicine man down there.
Yeah.
And he had a pine tree next to the cabin, and that's where his little people lived and stayed. To this day, I still don't step on pine cones because that's their homes. And they taught him how to be a medicine man. So I have a little different look at little people. And this is recent. This is last year.
Yeah.
I was talking about him, or so I was saying something about little people. Because if you see a gust of wind, you're supposed to tip your hat, out of respect for the little people. And in the creek, that's what you do. And I think that happened. And I was telling her that, and I think that woke them up or whatever. They would come around, and I pulled up from work. She had just pulled up. And we have a little Nissan Kicks. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It's a small car. I can see on top of it. And I got out and talked to her and stuff. And then we went on. She was working weekends at that time. And I couldn't find my keys. I was off. So for the weekend, she had gone back and forth to work. We live in Choctaw. She worked out here by the outlet mall. 3 days back and forth. Drove. And that's a long way. I couldn't find my keys. The next Monday, I was like, "Where's my keys at? Where's my keys at?" And I got my keys right here. That's pretty bright.
Yeah.
Searched everywhere for it. We looked everywhere. Looked in the car. Looked at home. I even ordered a new key, and looked on the car. Looked everywhere, and then that third day, where we park, I can look out the front window and see our cars. And I looked out, and these are sitting on the roof of the car.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we can't see that.
Yeah.
That's bright. And I said, Judith, come here, look. She came and I was like, look on the car. And it was sitting on the roof of the car. There's no way that's going to last all that way for 3 days. I know it was little people.
So
messing around.
for the listeners that may be unfamiliar with little people and who they are and what they do, can you give us a little breakdown of that? At least as far as your tribe is concerned.
In my tribe, I know a lot of people think was tricksters and stuff. They are, but like I said, I'm a little different from them. I've seen pictures of him. He was the town historian back then, so he has a big black book that he wrote and it's I want it when no wish ill on her, but when my mom passes away, I want that book because he's written in it, and they're just they're just little people, and but they helped him. They always showed him, took him out, showed him what to get, because my mom just turned 77, and she remembers going to him, and he would whip something up and give it to her and everything. So that's how I know little people. I don't know
No, it's different for our
for
tribe.
you guys. So
I think for our tribe, Comanche side is more where I hear it from, but they like to, they want to take the kids to where they're going. And so if your kid is missing or things like that, they would say, oh, the little people convince them to go with them. So, you always had to watch your kids and things like that. But that's the lore on the Comanche side.
I had heard that. In my tribe, I guess it's a little different. It's kind of the same. They're kind of benevolent.
Yeah.
I was always told you had a big pine tree in our backyard. I was told if you have any food, like scraps or anything you throw out, you throw it out at the pine tree because you're giving them food or like giving them an offering.
Yeah.
I also heard that, I don't know how legit this is, but my mom told me this, but that years ago when those Girl Scouts at the Girl Scout camp went missing,
Yeah.
that my mom told me it was little people that took the girls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we always heard too.
Yeah.
So it's like when you play outside, they would say don't go past this because that's too far over to where they're at. And if you go too far, they'll convince you or they'll pull you because kids see in different ways than adults would, or they're so innocent and pure that that they're going to see things that adults don't see or don't realize or may have happened to them. And yeah, that's what they would always tell us. You know, if you go to the creek down the way, stay on the road. Don't go in the woods, or just somewhere that's a public place, because yeah, they'll convince you to go with them. So
I'd hear Uncle Bud. He stayed in the cabin. Him and Washi stayed in the cabin, and we'd be out there Sundays or whatever. I'd hear him talking in the back, and he didn't speak English. He spoke Creek, and somebody would get close to his room. He'd stop, or I'd see him out sometimes sitting out talking, like he was talking. He was always kind of looking down too, so he was always talking to something out there. So I was like, I never thought much about it. I was just hanging from a tree or something. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's something about little people that's just like the scariest thing to me, because I just see through a perspective of a kid. And because of course, when you're a kid, you hear these stories from other kids or from older cousins or whatever. And they're always told in a way that like, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. I was like, oh, And when I was growing up, one that scared me the most was my buddy, I think Dennis Knife Chief. He told me the story about how his cousins, they kind of lived out in the country, and a little kid, one of the little brothers, a young guy, would always like look out the window and start, talking to somebody. And the older sister was, hey man, stop talking to him, or stop talking to them or whatever. And I don't remember exactly where the story went, but of course, how the story went was that it was little people trying to convince him to come outside and play with them at night. And I just gave me the biggest creeps, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that so much.
yeah. Just the thought of knowing that you're not alone at night, or you're not alone if you go too far away. It's all still alive. It's all still there. And just we were talking about woods and forests and things like that, like Bigfoot or whatnot, and how there's certain areas where people aren't there. So the forest comes alive, essentially, I guess you could say, because it's just all untouched, uncolonized land. So
And when we were up there in Montana, we were at Glacier. We went and visit some of her family up there, and they were staying there in Browning, Montana, and went over to Glacier National Park. And there's something out there. It's too much. There's something out there, man. We saw a footprint and smell. We could see those trees that were broken way up high. And there's something out there, man.
It's crazy to think that we know everything as far as humans go. Because those mountains, man, they're just so vast, especially up in Canada or the Appalachians or the Rockies. Like, there could be so much out there that we have no idea about.
For sure.
And then when we lived for 3-4 years out on the Navajo reservation.
Yes, we did.
And that was a whole
that was a whole different world.
How long ago was that?
Oh man,
I was back in 2000, probably about 2005, 2010-ish.
Our son was almost born. Our oldest son was almost born. He was born out there in Fort Defiance.
Yeah.
And Fort Defiance is closer to civilization. We lived Ganado, Chinle.
Yeah. It was way out there.
Yeah, we lived we were out there in Ganado one time, and the power had gone out. There's not much power anyway, but the power had gone out, and we were messing around outside with a flashlight. And Gonzo
I didn't know. My bad,
Gonzo
everybody.
It was up a hill, and she started flashing the flashlight, and something started flashing back at us.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. The power was out in the neighborhood where we were, so everybody kind of just came outside because it's hot.
Yeah, it was
hot at night. So we came outside. We were hanging out. People start, walking by, and I had a flashlight, just looking around, and you have a flash. Well, I have a flashlight. It's like lightsaber mode, right? So I'm just like, shining light at everything, looking around, and a light went through. How the beam of light flashed in front of me, and I was like, oh, like there's a light. So SSOS or whatever, and it replied back. So Jay, that's when I was like, hey, look at that, you know.
No.
He's like, don't do that, don't do that. I was like, oh, this would be good to know beforehand.
I was
Yeah.
like, stop.
He just chunked it, and I was like, oh, my bad. I
There's
had no
nothing
idea.
up there. I mean, we know the areas where we were. There's nothing up there, but
Yeah.
it started flashing back at us, and I was like, man,
I don't even know how to explain that. That's
I'm
spooky,
telling
dude.
you, I'm
That's
telling you.
yeah,
It was a whole different world for me, because that's when I realized, oh, different tribes have different ways, different living. So it's like, okay, I learned my lesson that night. So
because we had gone from here in Oklahoma to there, and then from there to Virginia, and it was
yeah, it was culture shock every time we moved, I think, because we went straight to the res and everything's completely different. You go to Walmart, there's natives. You go to KFC, there's natives taking your order. And that was different for me because I grew up in Norman. And then once we had our oldest, we ended up moving to Virginia. And it was like, boom, center of civilization and history and all this other stuff. So
we tried to do stuff out there too. We went to a couple of old slave houses, and try to.
There was some plantations out there for sure. We actually went to Jamestown.
Yeah.
We went to John Rolfe's house, and what was there was another one we went to, but
Or Pocahontas'
Pocahontas'
right
house.
there, so
All that. John Smith is, I believe, his name.
Yeah, we tried to see stuff out there, but there was nothing out there.
It was completely different. It's so modernized that it just doesn't feel real. It feels reenacted. So, but yeah.
That's spooky stuff, man.
Oh, one more. Sorry. I told the story at Rose State, and this is for my mom. I still won't say his name. Maybe, I don't know. When she was little, yeah. But my mom was little. Everything was at the church. Everything was really, because they lived further out. Like I said, my grandpa's grandpa came over on the Chilliteers. That's how we got to Eufaula. He was a young boy when he got there, and he was my grandpa's grandpa. And they lived out. That was way outside of town. It still is, but that was moving into town for them. And they had one guy that lives in Eufaula, and Yehola Tiger, my cousin, he's on War Cry podcast. He knows who I'm talking about.
Cousin.
Yeah, Yehola, and he knows who I'm talking about. Well, my mom said she was playing with all her cousins there, and they were supposed to be in church, but they took off walking. It was dirt road back then, and they took off walking. It was her, a couple of my aunts, and a bunch of their cousins, and they knew they were supposed to be in church, and they knew they were going to get in trouble. And they were walking, and they were going down the dirt road, and they kept hearing a wolf howl in the distance. They didn't pay much attention to it. They kept going. They were goofing, being loud and running around. And one of the girls started screaming and pointing at one point, and they thought they saw a snake. So being goofy, they all start running around and screaming and just being loud. And finally they stopped and looked, and in the ditch, the guy in town, he was always wearing a hat, a fedora, and a leather coat, no matter what time of the year. He always had it on. And it was folded up neatly in the ditch. And they were like, they took off back to church. They were like, we got to get back to church. We're going to get in trouble. And they went running back to church. And when they got to church, about 2 minutes later, he come walking up wearing that hat and that jacket. And my mom will still talk about it. He had long canine teeth and red bloodshot eyes. And she still won't say his name, but so you get them started. Get the older people talking, man. They'll. I used to have to tell my stepdad, all right. You don't want to hear no more. Hey, all right. You're just making this stuff up now.
I got one more.
Okay,
I'll throw it down. It was probably about last year, and when we saw you at Ponca City, kind of mentioned it. But me and my dad were renovating a church out there, which was our family church, right? It's out there, Cache Creek Methodist Church. And out there, I don't know if y'all been there recently or lately, but it's desolate. It's becoming desolate because everybody's in the city nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a life. And we were redoing the ceiling, the interior. So middle of July, no air conditioning, no nothing. We're out there working on the ceiling, and I'm having to cut boards for my dad, and my dad's up there, putting it all together. And he's like, "Hey, I go cut me a board for this." And so I'm out there, back of the truck, running the power tools as I usually do. So and I'm sitting there and I'm looking around because it's nice. It's nice to have a break from the city. It's my refuge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just you hear everything, you can see everything, when somebody's driving up from miles away because it's just quiet. And I think nowadays they got the windmills up there, so that's crazy, but that's a whole nother story.
Absolutely.
But we're sitting there, and probably about 100 yards away, there's a creek, and it used to be one of those wooden bridges that one car can go past. They upgraded it, and it's like just a concrete with metal siding on it. And I was sitting there, and usually if I have enough time, I'll walk down there, walk back, or I'll walk down there, see if there's any fish in the creek or anything. And it's just all dried up. I mean, nothing is out there. And in fact, there used to be a road that runs east and west, and it's so desolate now. The grass has overtaken it. So there's no highway, there's no road, there's no gravel, there's no nothing out there. So it just only goes three-way. And I was sitting there and I was like, no way, no way. And as I'm looking, I'm sitting there cutting the board, and I turn and I look, and I'm looking, and something's crossing the road. Something's walking across the road. And I'm like, no way. I was like, that's not, they weren't wearing a t-shirt. They weren't wearing pants. You couldn't see any distinctive features on them. They were all in black, very tall, and very, arms were pretty long. Arms were below the knees. Okay. And it was standing straight upright, and it was just so tall that it just looked skinny. And I was like, that's kind of odd. I was like, I've never seen anything like that out here before. And so I just kind of stopped, and I was watching it. And just like you said, I didn't want to leave and it'd be gone when I come back, because my dad's just in the kitchen, and I'm just like, and I didn't want to yell because you can hear everything out there. So I'm sitting there watching it. I was like, maybe it's a cow, because that's a possibility. Maybe a cow was walking around out there. But it walked across the road, and I was like, it was just about a little bit before sunset. It wasn't blue hour yet. It was probably like golden hour. So I went back into the house, and I was like, I think we have to go. I was like, I think it's time to go, or at least time to stop working, because there's something over there. And he was like, what? And he turned and looked at me, and I'm not one to overplay things when it's serious, but I'm like, no, I think it's time to shut it down. I was like, there's something walking around over there. And so he kind of looked at me and was like, well, okay, well, we'll finish this up and then we'll go. But what was funny is that it hit blue hour. It was a little bit later than it is now, but it hit blue hour, and he was like, we'll drive over there. We'll drive over there and see. So after it had crossed, and I looked for it in the field, I couldn't see anything, because, out there where the creek, you can really see where the creeks are, because the trees grow up where the creeks are. And so it just kind of blocks everything. And so we went over there, and all we saw was a path, like, where the tall grass and you could see your feet. That's all that we saw. And he was like, well, maybe it was a cow. Maybe it was a deer. Maybe it was this. I was like, no, because it was too tall. No, because it was walking. It was pretty tall and skinny. So, yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
there's.
So I got down there the next day, and she told me, showed me down there. And Of course, I took off. Where's that? Yeah, I went running down there. Noon, so big and bad. But yeah, I
Come
took
back
off
all
down
sweaty.
there.
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing.
I was like, "Whoa, that's way far. That's farther than I thought."
Well, heck yeah. Well, thanks guys for telling some stories. I did come prepared with a couple stories because I know
Alright.
All right.
I didn't want you guys just to feel like you had to talk the whole time. So, but yeah, so a couple weeks ago was my family camp out in our family land off the of our allotment land. We call it Cat Springs, just out there in Carnegie area. In the Slick Hills is what they call it. And a couple weeks before, me and my brothers, Doc, we went out there for camp cleanup. This is kind of where we get our bro time. We cut down a bunch of fallen trees, get firewood, we mow, we clean out the camping area. So when we do get out there, it's nice and, beautiful, easy to camp. Everyone can just pop up their tents and all that stuff. And so, yeah, we're out there and, we're telling scary stories. This is what we do. We're telling funny stories, drinking little beers, stuff like that. We're having a good time. Yeah. And there's some family drama going on right now with my uncle and his aunt who lives out on the land too. And her name is I don't know, I guess I probably shouldn't say her name, but she lives out there and she's I don't want to say anything mean about her, but she's kind of losing it. Like some days she'll be fine, some days she'll be just like super angry, not want anybody around. And so we never know who we're gonna meet every time we get out there because we always gotta say, hey, we're gonna be down there camping or we're gonna be cleaning up. And so sometimes she'll yell at us, tell us, go home, and we're just politely be like, well, I mean, technically, this is our land too, so we're going to go down there, we're going to clean up all that stuff, and we'll try to be as respectful as possible. But there's also that feeling that, like, she has threatened to kill people before and all this other stuff. And so, like, when we're down there camping, we're already afraid of deer woman, little people, Bigfoot, Stiginies, everything. And then there's also that fear that she's going to come down there just kind of, out of her mind and try to hurt us or something like that. And so we're telling these stories, man, and it's always scary out there. There's owls hooting at us and stuff like that. And Norn and I have a crazy story about that. And so me and my brothers, we sleep in our hammocks, and when we start telling scary stories, our hammocks are all set up in different trees and stuff like that. But the scarier the stories get, the closer the hammocks get, because we just don't want to sleep too far out from everybody. And so sure enough, man, all our hammocks were like real close. We're like basically touching each other because it's spooky out there. And we're kind of staggered, and so mine's kind of off the ground a little bit, maybe a foot or two, and I'm already afraid of coyotes and armadillos and stuff like that. Not enough to where I won't sleep in a hammock outside, but there's something I do think about. But man, I was so tired, I was exhausted, so I passed out. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and it was just very strange because I felt like it was a dream, but I feel like a cat jumped on my stomach. Oh wow! And I just remember looking at it, and she's like, "Shoo!" And then I remember looking up the hill, and there's a big light out in the hill where her trailer is. It's about a quarter mile away. And I feel like I remember seeing her up the hill doing this to the cat. And I was just so certain that it was a dream that I just rolled over, went back to sleep. And never in my life has a cat been out there before, come down there. Like, we'll get res dogs out there and stuff like that, trying to get food, covering ticks, all that stuff. But a cat, anyway. And so I woke up and she's like, man, that was weird. Didn't think anything of it. And then I told them about it, and they're like, huh, that's really weird. She wouldn't have come down here last night, would she? Because we're always checking our wallets and stuff like that. Make sure everything's still there, because you never know. And sure enough, man, the whole day we see little cat footprints on everything. I was like, this was the cat for real come out here and jump on us? I don't know. Wow. It was weird because they all make jokes about her being a shapeshifter and stuff like that, her being in medicine, and it's just it's unsettling. Yeah. So that was just something that was kind of creeped me out. But Orrin and I have a owl story out there. We went out for camp cleanup during the pandemic. It's probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. It's that night too, it stormed, right?
Yeah, we went out there for camp cleanup, and we're idiots. We set up a tent and just waited all the time. Couldn't really do anything. Barely had a campfire up.
But over here, we were sleeping. It was middle of the night, and we were sleeping kind of close to a tree, under a tree, and we heard these owls hooting back and forth. Man, it just kept going like that for maybe a couple minutes, and then it just started turning into screeching them back and forth, screeching. And closer. I got louder.
Nice.
Yeah.
I felt like
Oh.
somebody was walking around.
Yeah, that, yeah.
Around that same time.
Nope.
Which I already feel like that anytime I'm in a tent. It's like, but for real, I was like, somebody is walking right outside of our tent. And the tent's, it's like paper fabric. And so I was like, what's not really protected?
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. And one thing I was wanting to talk about, I never actually talked about on the pod before, was and this is something that's not necessarily well known, but it's apparently a thing, is demon monkeys is what a nickname is for them. Have you guys heard of that before?
I heard of it, but
Really?
not much. Yeah.
So it's different than Bigfoot. It's apparently out in the woods, out in Carnegie, Southwest Oklahoma. There are these rumors of these things called demon monkeys, and there's not a great description of them because not many people have seen them. But before I ever even heard of them, I heard this story from my dad, who heard it from my Uncle Mike, and I've heard this story from my Uncle Mike since then, and from my cousins who were there and saw it. But yeah, back in the day, probably 20 years ago by now, my cousins, they're around my age, a little bit younger. They had to go out and hunt for their food. My Uncle Mike worked at a peanut factory for a long time. And he'd always say that he works with a bunch of nuts. But it didn't pay very well. And he got 3 kids. He's got a couple cats, a couple dogs, a wife, and they live in Anadarko. That Kiowa housing, where it's already low income, but still they're struggling to make ends meet. And so when times get tough, man, they take a couple 22s and they go out to the land and, try to shoot something for dinner. And it's just completely different than how me and my siblings grew up because, we were always close to the school. We get those free lunches in the summertime and, we go to church and then the church would feed us, all that stuff. But they lived a completely different life where they'd go fish and they'd go hunt. They shoot squirrels. If they're lucky, they shoot a deer. And so they're out there in the wintertime. And my Uncle Mike says they kind of split up. He said, you guys go over there, we'll go over here. And then so him and my older cousin, Cara, they're walking over here. And then Kaylee and Mark, the younger ones, they're walking over here. And all of a sudden they hear a bunch of shots. And so they start like looking down and seeing like maybe they shot something. But all of a sudden he just sees Kaylee and Mark starting slowly walking back out of the woods like this, like they're still aiming at something, but walking away slow. Man. And so Uncle Mike walks down there and he's like, what'd you guys find? And they're like, you'll never believe what we saw. And he's like, what? He's like, it was like a monkey. It's like a big monkey that was walking on all fours. And we didn't know what to do, so we just kept shooting it. We started blasting.
As one should. I mean, why not?
Yeah, man. And that thing took off, man. And so my Uncle Mike, man, out there being a hunter, he goes out and he tracks it. And he follows the tracks all the way to this barbed wire fence where the property ends. And sure enough, there's little clumps of like long black hair on it, which which is how they described it. It was like a monkey, like a bigger monkey that walked on all fours, big long tail, and the thing just took off. And apparently there have been stories about that. I've looked online to see like if it's like a cryptid people talking about, but it's not really. But there are like secluded stories out there about demon monkeys, and I never told that story to my wife because when I try to get her to go camping, she likes scary stories until she's out there, and so I always like try to keep her like hyped up and tell her that's all going to be fun and stuff like that. Scary stories about the stars, so you better get back.
That's how she gets me to go camping.
Yeah. And so she never heard that story. And so we're driving down to the family land, and I'm all looking around like this. She's like, "Do you see that?" And I look up. She's like, "I was like, what'd you see?" She's like, "A monkey. A monkey just crossed the road and went to those woods."
No.
And I looked at her and I was like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "It walks like a monkey." And like there are stories. I mean, there's historically there have been Black Panthers that have been out in those mountains before.
Yes.
Very rare, there are mountain lions, there are bobcats, all that stuff, but it, like I said, very rare to see anything like that. But Is it possible she saw a Black Panther walking across the road? The tail kind of looks the same, or she see
Yeah.
one of those demon monkeys everybody's talking about. And I was nosy like you guys. Man.
Yeah.
Over there, I was walking around. I was all
trying
looking. I
to
was like,
find it.
Let's
I
go
see
see.
nothing.
Let's go see.
I remember hearing these stories, but yeah, so I have no idea what that is and what it possibly could be, but it's something that creeps me out when I think about it. And like I'm always asking people, have you heard anything about that? You got a story? But usually nobody does.
Have you ever down there? They said it was called a baboo. Was that what?
It's something like that. I don't really
Yeah.
remember. But the Bigfoot out there is supposed to be called Babu or something like that.
Wow.
There's been a couple of photos that were sent to us from a relative down there. But we don't know the legitness of it. We don't know where he's getting it or if but you always have an uncle, you have somebody that's a little askew that'll see things out there, and
Yeah.
so you either have to take it by their word or you have to think about the character of it and just
Her uncle who passed away a few years ago, stand-up guy, awesome. He didn't joke around. He was, if he said something, he meant it.
Yes.
He really.
yes.
And he was telling us a story one time, and when he started talking, we started listening because he didn't.
You don't tell stories.
Yeah, he don't tell
Yeah.
stories. So her grandma's land out there is about 15 miles outside of Carnegie
Mm-hmm.
to that big curve going to Apache.
Yes.
And, they walked everywhere out there. I mean, he thought nothing of it to walk. There's nothing out there. It's pretty desolate out there.
Yeah.
And he was walking one night in it.
That is actually something else.
Oh, it is.
That is actually something else. It's something a little bit more niche.
Mm.
That's seen from people who are from the area.
Yeah.
But it kind of resembles like a bat, I guess. It has pointy ears.
Yeah.
It has like just this elongated face and very long arms. I don't know what color it is. I don't know that much, but there is actually a story that my cousin him and his girlfriend were out there. And there's a place out there probably by, where the Gap is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the Gap, and then you come to that T crossing.
Mhm.
Okay, they were on that road before you hit the straight, the sharp curve.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, it was a sharp curve, but
Yeah.
they
it
were
still
in
kinda
between
is.
there. They broke down. They seen something, and not long after that, they wrecked their car. So
Yeah.
it has bad mojo for it with it. So if you see it, it's usually not good. It just kind of freaks people out when they see it. But
Her uncle was saying that he was walking and he had to walk back home, and it was just open fields out there, and he was walking. He said he was just going. It was dark, and he could see something in the field coming across the field towards where he was. So it was kind of getting to where he was, and he said, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking over there. So I'm just walking straight. And he said he met up at the fence line, the barbed wire fence, where he was walking, and it turned and started following. He could see that as out the corner of his eye, and we're just like,
yeah,
he don't tell stories.
He doesn't tell stories.
What the heck?
He knew they saw each other. He saw it from his peripheral, but he knew it saw him when it like stood up even more. Like, oh, I'm seeing you walk on the highway while I'm in the in the grass. You guys been out in the country or east or west Oklahoma. That the grass is tall. So I mean, when he said it stood up, like. It stood up.
He was tall. He was.
He was
6'4",
he was
6'5".
about
He was tall.
he was very tall. So you guys know. You guys know.
He said it stood up. We were like, oh no, crap. All right.
So yeah, it was just again. This was at the time of the day, golden hour, a little bit after, and you can see things, but you can't really distinguish them. But yeah, that was the arms were dragging on the ground, as he said. And, yeah, it was just really creepy. Yeah. And it's like, it's unbelievable because it's like, you saw this, you've seen this, but
Still haven't seen nothing down there.
Does
I go
that
down
have a
there.
name, or is it that niche and really like
It is kind of that niche
Yeah.
where it's not really seen a lot
Yeah.
yet. But there's just a few stories. My uncle's seen it. My cousin have seen it. There was actually a Facebook post
Oh yeah,
that somebody had hand drawn it and
Oh.
posted it,
I still remember
and
that.
people were like, "Oh yeah, like we've seen that," or
Oh
my
my
uncle or
gosh.
somebody has seen it, but it's not. Nobody has really like caught it in view yet. So,
That's crazy.
but apparently, whatever it is, it has very long arms, and it's very very tall. And when it walks, So
And
it's,
coming from her uncle, it's like I have no doubt,
Yeah.
coming from
That
him,
was a true story.
because he don't tell stories.
he didn't tell
dang.
stories. He was one of those guys who grew up there, who lived there. He took care of my grandmother until she passed away, and then the place was his. He inherited the land, and then he had passed away, and it's kind of one of those things that it's slowly fading out right now. I mean, we still have family that's out there, but it's just people don't go out there. They don't stay out there anymore because all the old heads are drying off, And so, but yeah, that's one of the things we've always kind of kept in the back of our mind, because it was like something.
I'd never heard of Deer Woman until I met her.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. She mentioned it one day. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
God
I had
dang.
no
I feel like
idea.
it's
Yeah.
so big now in the cultural zeitgeist that everybody
Yeah.
knows about it. But I remember being in middle school and then finding out that other people knew about it.
Yeah,
So-
that's good. Yeah,
What?
you
You
know?
Yeah.
They're like, no, dear lady. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. And when we watched Reservation Dogs, Sterling Harjo is a cousin of mine, Creek, and I used to be scared it was so Creek that people wouldn't get everything in it. I was dying laughing at
Yeah.
everything,
Mhm.
and she was working her schedule, didn't let her watch it. And I remember watching it, and that was that Deer Lady episode.
oh, yeah.
And I remember I called her. I was like, "Hey, come here. Let me show you." And I showed her, and because I thought it was cool, I was like, "Hey, watch this." And I showed her,
Yeah.
and we went to her feet, and I was watching her. Man, her face just.
I was like, oh
she
no.
got up. She got up and walked out.
I was like, oh no. let me close the windows here. It's dark outside. Let me close the shades.
I was like, "Where were you going?" It's the whole.
So you
whole
can't be
show.
talking about this.
Yeah, just her face, just. Yeah, she got up and walked out.
I was like, oh
"Hey."
no.
Oh, yeah. That's my worst fear, man. Is like, hey, what you doing, girl? Yeah. Man.
But I love that he put that in the show.
I did too. I really like that. The
Oh,
little
yeah,
tip of the
absolutely.
hat. Like, hey, I need a ride to Carnegie. I was like, oh, dear lady.
Yeah.
Don't give her a ride.
Man,
But
that's
yeah.
cool. You guys watch Dark Winds?
Yeah, I do.
I'm
does.
sad. I still haven't seen the newest season, but
I've read all the books.
Tony Hillerman novels
up to
about it.
Yeah.
I need to read those.
Used to read that growing up. too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need
That's
to catch
from
up
my
on
dad.
those.
My dad's a big reader.
Yeah. Have you seen Dark Winds yet?
No.
You got to watch it. Dark Winds is a show produced by George R. R. Martin, who is the executive producer, and Robert Redford, who I think passed away recently, right?
Yeah,
Rest in
passed away.
peace. And it's an FX show with all Indian showrunners. Zon McLaren, he's executive producer as well. Also plays the main character in that. And what's his name? Stephen Paul Judd is a writer on that show as well. He's he's one of the main guys in there too, man. He's Kiowa. He's out there doing the thing, directing episodes, and they've got a handful of other people that have helped out on Reservation Dogs, that have helped out on Dark Winds as well. But
We like watching it because we lived out there, so we know
Yeah.
we know where they are. You know,
It's-
Kayenta and all
it's
that
so
stuff.
good, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you guys are watching it, check out Dark Winds. Even if you're not native, you'd really enjoy it because I feel like what most people know about Native Americans outside of Native Americans is say Navajo or Dene culture. And so it's really just focused around all of those people. And like for me, like I only know about that culture from TV. Really, I don't know a whole lot of Navajos other than just the past couple of years from meeting people online and stuff like that. But yeah, seeing it come to screen in the right way is just the freaking coolest thing. And so highly recommend it. You guys got to check it out. And hopefully maybe someday we'll get Stephen Paul Judd on the show to tell us a little bit more about it.
That's cool.
And because he's local to Oklahoma, I know he's traveling everywhere all the time. And but yeah, he's one of my inspirations for sure, just for art in general. And then I got to meet one of the writers for the show. Her name was Sabrina. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah.
Jay was there. And she's going to be writing for season 5 coming up. And she's Navajo as well, and just kind of making your way into the whole Hollywood thing. And, and she was very kind and very cool and told us a whole lot about how she got into it. And, I was like, you want to come on the pod sometime? She's like, yeah. So I'll reach out to her
She didn't
sometime.
bring it up. You brought it up.
Yeah,
She was a
exactly.
writer for it. And I was
Yeah.
like, shoot, I'd be leading with that.
That's what I'm
everywhere.
saying.
I
Yeah, she
write
got a
for Dark
short film
Winds.
that screened next to ours, which is crazy. We got Crooked Face, which we made on a budget of a couple hot and ready pizzas. And then it's screening next to other films that have tens of thousands of dollar budgets, if not more. And hers was beautiful. It was a very funny story. Legend of the Fry Reedy is what it was called.
Yeah.
And it highlighted her Navajo culture and her I don't want to say this wrong, but I know that she's Indian, Pakistani, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a funny story about her aunties fighting over which bread is best, and she ended up combining it to make Fry Reedy, which is a combination of both.
She was nice.
Both breads, and it was a really funny short film, and I thought it was great. So we talked about it afterwards, and she was awesome. So shout out Sabrina, I think you're awesome, and thanks for telling me about Dark Winds and all that stuff. So hopefully we'll learn more about that. But yeah, other than that, do you guys have any film recs, any movie recs, anything highlighting Native American culture right now?
Oh man, I've been reading Stephen Graham Jones a lot.
Yeah,
I know he's got another one coming out real soon.
Which one?
I forgot what it's called. I just saw it today. It's not out yet.
Yeah,
But he's getting
pumping
a
out. He
lot
pumps
of-
out like 2 books a year,
lot
a
of buzz.
novella a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how he does it.
He's putting.
What
it
is
out
one of
there.
my inspirations too?
Was
Yeah,
that still the last?
Buffalo Hunter.
Yeah.
That one was insane. You read that
I
one?
audiobook.
Yeah.
I just haven't listened to it.
You
Yeah.
got
I'm
it.
reading
Dude.
Mongrels right now.
I just read Mongrels.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm on Mongrels right now.
Yeah.
I just read which one was it? It was another novella that he did. Oh, it was Night of the Mannequins. Did you read that one?
Not yet. No.
Ooh, man, that gave me the chills,
Really?
boy. Yeah, his writing style is very interesting because he writes from a. I think the style is not so much of a standard narrative, but it's more of a stream of consciousness style of writing where you're really in the mind of who's telling the story, and you hear their language and how they speak, but not necessarily like the standard flow of how books are written. And so a lot of times it's really hard to follow what's going on, but I'll have to go back 2-3 times to read something again or listen to something again and be like, what did I just listen to? But the way that the story comes together always pays off. So Stephen Graham Jones, man, he freaking rocks.
We
Hope to meet him someday.
a movie that I always promote, Blood Quantum,
Yeah.
Love Blood Quantum.
Yeah.
Shudder. Another one I always talk about that not a lot of people know is Graham Greene, Clear Cut.
Clear Cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
watched that for the first time.
I always
That one messed
Promote
me
that
up,
one.
bro.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. That was
Yeah.
awesome. I like that one.
I watched that. Me and my dad got that one when I was little, and I always got Clear Cut. You gotta
Dude,
watch
that's how I'm
Clear
rocking the
Cut.
bandana right now. I'm trying to channel my inner Graham Greene from Clear Cut, man. That movie was hardcore. Dude.
Yeah,
I was like, God dang, that messed me up. But he was great in it, dude.
That's
Seriously.
very- not knowing that movie and seeing it for the first time, this is very punk rock and cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
he's the bad guy, but he's also he
Yeah,
has a point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The bad guy is right at the
Yeah,
end.
he's just been pushed around so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
over and over again. He was just done with it. So,
But I
yeah.
always push that one, and then you guys, I want y'all to. We came on here to, you guys keep putting stuff out, man.
Thanks,
you guys
Yes,
keep.
it going.
And Kate doing her thing. I mean, she made a magazine for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Who makes a magazine? You know,
Yeah.
she did it.
Do you have yours? Let's talk
Yeah,
about
I
it for
got
a
it.
second. She's not even in here. But,
Yeah, I always talk about. I'm like, she made a magazine, man.
oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
So, Kate, she's working with our team, Skullcrawler stuff. She's our social media manager, I would say. But she just put out this magazine called Indigenous. She's been working on it very hard. And it's just highlighting Indian culture. She's doing a lot of modeling, a lot of really cool things, meeting a lot of really cool artists and storytellers, and she's just highlighting a lot of really cool stories. And so right now she's working on part 2. She's out here taking pictures all the time, and she's just freaking doing the thing. So she's following her passion. She's big on TikTok. Follow her on TikTok, chronically Indigigoth, and look forward to part 2, I guess issue 2 of Indigidays, and we're supposed to be in it. I think Warren and I are supposed to be in it at some point. We just got to get some professional pictures done. It's just finding our time to get our schedules right is always difficult. But check out Indigidays. Shout out Kate. You rock. Keep doing what you're doing.
But I joked earlier about being a young elder, but we do feel like that. Everybody that we hang out with is usually 15, 20 years younger than we are. And times are different than when we grew up.
Yes.
We couldn't be creative. You'd get made fun of.
Yeah.
It's just the way it was back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
You'd get you couldn't be an artsy guy or
Anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Reading.
Nerd.
I used to carry around a Far Side and a Calvin and Hobbes book with me all the time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
constantly. I always had a Far Side or Calvin and Hobbes book. But you guys, I started writing because you sent me that story and you guys put out this stuff and you made movies, and I'm 50 and I don't know what I'm doing, but I got me a nice book. And
Shoot, nobody knows what
another
they're
two
doing. I know. I have no idea what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, and I just started and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is fun. So I'm writing.
Exactly.
You love movies. We love movies. That's why we start doing what we do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We just love movies, and we have the same, likes and
Same
Yeah.
style.
same
Yeah.
style, yeah.
And if y'all ever need a random 80s movie, hey, come
Oh,
on.
heck
Yeah,
yeah.
ask me about it. Auntie Lee's Meat Pies, I got you. Rabbit Grannies, I got you, man. I told you I got Microwave Massacre right before I got here. So man, here
That's
we go,
what's
man.
up.
It's, but yeah, I just want y'all to keep everybody out there, just keep putting it out, because it helps us. It really
does.
helps us. Like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
we can do this now. This is
Yeah.
loud.
Just,
I can,
exactly,
Yeah.
man. You just get out and tell
Yeah.
your story, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can make something, or
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, 'cause I think we grew up, and I think a lot of people grew up waiting for permission to do
Exactly.
play.
Yes.
And then we were just like, we'll just do it. And
Yeah.
just keep doing it.
Exactly.
and that, like I said, that helps us, because it's like, oh, we can
Yeah.
do that now. People are doing that, and and just we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
easier
really-
than
we really come up to
Everybody's
that.
got a camera in their pocket.
Yeah,
TikTok and whatever. Yeah.
I can make TikTok talk about my movies, and we saw 4 movies last week, and
Yep.
I'm ready to talk about it, and just
Yeah.
if anybody hears it, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's gonna be out there, and then she started doing her
Yeah.
ribbon skirts, and
Doing
just
beads.
Really?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, earrings,
Mhm.
keychains, everything. So, and it's just funny because I've had cousins who were just like, they got really questions when they would go to college. Why you want to go to college for?
Mhm.
And it's like, why not? I want to better myself, and whether it's college, whether it's beadwork, whether it's launching a magazine, it's possible.
Yeah.
And I think not just Jay and I, but everybody who's our age and maybe younger are fighting those generational curses. We're fighting those
Absolutely.
ideologies that we need to be set aside and let others go, or we can't be individuals or express ourselves in our ways that we've learned culturally, and I'm a big person of that, where I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys go and do the things that I wish I could have done,
Yeah.
and it's not too late, I know that, but the other part of it is like, let's go, let's
Yeah.
see. I want to see our culture rise up like it has been.
Absolutely.
So
And that's what we really try to talk to our sons, especially, and their friends, and just whoever. All my friends. I got one guy that's almost a year younger than me, just turned 49, Brett. But my other guys, Tyler, Ray, everybody. I try to tell them, whatever they like doing. All right, I support So
All right. Well, I feel like that probably wraps it up.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys so much
Yeah.
coming on, and just your feedback in general, and the encouragement you guys give us, man, is just
Yeah,
it means more than you know, for sure, because it's this kind of, encouragement that keeps me wanting to do this stuff, because if we were doing this by ourselves, we probably would stop, 10, 15 episodes ago.
Yeah,
And if no one listening,
yeah. It's important, like having like this tangible like piece,
Yeah.
like meeting
Yeah.
people who listen to our stuff and like want us to keep going.
And that's what I told you at Rose State. I was like, man, keep putting stuff out, and yeah, you really did.
That's
so.
the plan, is keep writing, keep trying to make movies. My problem is I come with a new idea every week. I'm like, this is the one, this is the one. And I have to really reel myself in, because like, okay, you got other ideas that you should probably finish on first. And so I'll write something in my notebook or my notes app or something like that. Or so I'll save that for later, who knows? I might turn that into something later, but like the creative wheel is always turning, and if I get a really good idea, I'll text Oren about it. Like, dude, let's meet, let's talk about it. But yeah, so like life can be discouraging. Like even today, we scheduled this podcast a couple days ago. I've been looking forward to it for a while. And then, I had an extremely long day at work.
Yeah.
I get home and I'm like, okay, I got to make sure all my stuff's charged for the podcast. Got to find all my gear. And as soon as I get home, my wife's just freaking pulling her hair out because the kids are being crazy. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is why I recorded episodes, because I need to be home helping out. And she's like, no, she really encouraged me. She's like, you need to get out and do stuff that you want to do. You need to keep pursuing the podcast thing. It's like, I can take care of these babies. I know it seems really tough, but it's just for a season. And that really did encourage me, because I feel so bad that she's home taking care of the kids all day long, and then I go having fun recording a podcast.
Yeah.
Come home after everybody's asleep, watching TV. It is tough though for her. And anyway, she's very, very encouraging. But I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for people like you or people listening. I get Facebook messages every week like, hey, listen to the episode, it's really good. My mom really liked this episode.
Yeah.
Which is like, dang, that's crazy. It's like, all right, man. Well, I got to keep making episodes for her then, And
And when you asked us to be on, we were both of us were like, what? Us? All right. And then we were like, yeah, let's just go, man. Just encourage. And I figured out you were showing up again.
Yeah.
I was like, shoot, yeah, I want to go back.
That's what I'm saying, man. I was like, I'll get him back.
Yeah, I was like, all right, he's coming back because of me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
But yeah, the babies and stuff, we've been together 24, longer than 24 years.
Yeah.
We've been married 24 years. And you just got to find that
balance.
Mhm.
well, yeah, I'm trying, man. It's a lot of getting up early, doing stuff that I want to do, and then staying up late, sacrificing sleep, still trying to be a good dad and get the kids to sleep and be there with them and help the wife make sure she feels that she's supported.
Yeah.
And then, after all of that, then I'm just like, all right, time to be creative, So it is draining, but it does help. You guys help a whole lot. So
That's awesome.
Oh, so yeah, that's what we do. Because she'll do her stuff at night. She'll be dressed, make her room skirts at night while I'm sleeping. But then she'll get up with me to go to the park in the morning before work and run and do our thing. And you find it.
Yeah,
You
we're
get
getting
it.
there. We're getting there.
And save a spot for me in your next movie. I want to be cop
man,
number 2 that comes in. It's like, what happened here? Consider that my audition right there.
That is all right.
What happened here?
You look at the camera on accident.
My eyes are always
Stop looking at the
shut.
camera. Stop looking at the camera.
On a cigar, be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
my
we-
audition tape right there.
We appreciate you guys. All right. Warren, go ahead and lead us in signing off. Wait, before we do that, can you plug your show real quick, your Instagram, all that stuff?
Yeah, I think you guys have got to plug socials.
J Mondo Kane on TikTok, Kane with a K, or Instagram. I call it my movie Instagram, Mondo Kane Movie Goon, which she came up with, and all one word. So I it's mostly movies, but I plug whatever. I do a segment every week on the Dodgecast. Those guys are doing good. So it's always about movies or indigenous books or indigenous movies or just whatever I like. 80s movies, whatever, horror stuff. So yeah, J Mondo Kane or Mondo Kane Movie Goon.
Well, Wherever you find Jay, that's where I'll be.
Yeah.
All right.
she's
So-
are
right
you
there,
planning
yeah.
on selling your art or your beadwork or anything like that?
I do, but I don't post.
Okay.
I just kind of do it on the fly here and there.
All right.
So
And I wanted to thank you for inviting her because you're the first one to really understand that wherever I'm at, she's at.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Heck
a lot of people don't get that. You know, wherever
Mm.
you see me, she's there. So
Awesome.
she's always right there helping. So
I mean, to me, you guys are a unit because that's how I see y'all every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
you all
yeah.
together. So like,
So,
I was stoked when you told you guys. I was like, all right, cool.
yeah, Jay and Judith. Yeah, there's no Jay without Judith. So yeah.
That's great. All right, Warren, sign us out.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, please rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, or podcast app of choice. You can find us on Instagram at The Skull Crawlers, all one word, and YouTube by searching for The Skull Crawlers Movie Club, or going to bit.ly/skullcrawlers. I think that's dead, but by the time this is posted, I'll fix that link.
I think it is just youtube.com/@the-skullcrawlers.
At The Skull
Yeah,
Crawlers.
that's our new
Okay.
handle. We're able to actually get a handle now.
All right. So youtube.com/@the-skullcrawlers.
Yeah. Or just a skull crawler.
The Skull Crawler.
We'll
Yeah,
find it.
you'll find it. We're very Googleable. And as always, sleep with one eye open because you never know who's watching.
Thanks for wearing your brown pants. Thanks, guys.
Good night.